Hey, soccer fans, SO peeps, and pickers, predictors, strategic investors, boys and girls of all ages who just want to get a sneak peek at the upcoming weekend in Major League Soccer. I'm your host, Nick from Sons of a Pitch Soccer Central. We are back doing our weekly picks and predictions video. It is Wednesday, August 18th at time of recording, and we're going to look at the games for this upcoming weekend, August 19th through the 21st. Now, the MLS is in the stretch run. Teams have about 8 to 10 games left, so you got to look for those teams who are at the top of the table. Maybe they take their foot off the gas a little bit. Don't believe it. I don't think they will. But you really need to look at those teams at the middle of the table, battling against those teams at the bottom who may not have much to play for, who may be bringing in new coaches, who may be bringing in new players or shuffling guys around in and out, things of that nature. That's a little bit of extra insight that you can bring. But tonight, we're going to look at recent form as well. And I'll give you the recent form of the teams in their respective matchups before I make my pick and prediction. Also, we're going to go through the BetUS website and see what their odds are. Now, remember what I always say about when it comes to betting soccer. Check the injury reports. Check the starting lineups. I mean, look at LAFC's Monday night game. Bale and Chiellini were healthy scratches just for load management purposes. If you had bet on LAFC a few days in advance, maybe you wouldn't have picked them, or at least picked the over, right? It was a 1-0 game. So that's a way these kind of late scratches can affect the lines, can affect the prop bets, and can affect how you make your money. Also, there are a lot of midweek games going on right now. Right as I'm recording this video, there are a bunch of games going on. So watch for squads to be rotated and watch for teams who are coming off of short rest to maybe find a little value if they are the home team. Maybe the road team can surprise and get a draw or even a win. So make sure you take that into consideration. And as always, don't bet with your heart and set your limits. I'm going to keep our same quote from last week where we said, it's only gambling. It's only a gambling problem if you're losing. Could also say it's only gambling if you're losing, right? But it's only a gambling problem if you're losing, according to Anonymous, the internet. Everyone says it. But now we are going to take the time to look at the BetUS website and get our picks and predictions in. So the first game of this weekend is the LA Galaxy hosting the Seattle Sounders. Now, this is the Friday game. The Galaxy's recent form, win, loss, loss. Seattle's recent form, loss, loss, win. I think the Galaxy have turned a corner after their 5-2 victory. I give you a lot more analysis in our weekly recap video, so make sure that you subscribe to the channel and go find that video as well, released Monday nights. So I think the Galaxy have finally turned an offensive corner. I think Seattle is kind of that consistent, they're going to score 1 or 2 goals each week kind of a team. I'll give the Galaxy the edge at home to kick the weekend off. Moving into Saturday, we have the Red Bulls hosting FC Cincinnati. Red Bulls, win, loss, draw. Cincinnati, draw, win, draw. However, I am going to pick Cincinnati even as the away team in this one. I think their offense is too good, and the Red Bulls' legs are just tired in these dog days of MLS summer. We even heard a recent interview with star center back Aaron Long on the MLS's podcast, the Extra Time, saying that, yeah, the heat in the summer is kind of getting to them, the way they play that really high-pressing, high-energy style of play. And if you want to take a look at the money line, the Red Bulls are actually minus 150. Cincinnati's getting plus 355. Got to love those road odds. But also the draw is getting plus 335. So there might be some value there as well. Now, the next match up on BetUS has DC hosting the Philadelphia Union, and you've got DC at plus 215. Now, DC's probably getting a bump as the home team, but we know how much they've been struggling. Loss, loss, draw in their recent form. Meanwhile, Philadelphia has a win, a loss, and a win. And that loss, though, was to a really good FC Cincinnati team between a 6-goal outing against Houston and a 4-goal outing against Chicago. I'm picking the Philadelphia Union on this one. Next matchup, we have Montreal hosting the New England Revolution. Montreal's the favorite here at minus 110. And I am actually going to pick a draw in this one personally. I mean, Montreal is coming off of a win, draw, win and New England is coming off of a draw, win, win. Now, Montreal has climbed back up to second in the East, at least the way the results are now, and New England is coming off a crazy draw versus Toronto FC midweek. But New England has been playing a lot better. Montreal at home to an improved New England team. I'm not sure what to make of it. I didn't get a chance to see all of New England's game against TFC tonight. So I'm going to take the safe bet. I'm going to take the draw in this one, at least because I'm not feeling strongly one way or other on this kind of game. New England, with their new DP striker signing a few weeks ago, I think they're still a different team than they were outside of their last few results. So I'm not sold on them yet. So I would just pick a draw on this one if I had to. Next matchup, Minnesota United against Austin FC. Once again, I'm picking a draw. I mean, Minnesota's had some excellent form, win, loss, win, same as Austin, win, draw, win. But Austin is the highest scoring team in MLS, tied with LAFC. And my Minnesota, though, being the home team and getting the good odds at plus 110, I think I'm going to pick a draw. I don't think Minnesota can match Austin FC in a shootout, but Minnesota is playing at home, and they have a great home record. So, again, I don't feel too strongly one way or other in this game. I'm going with the draw. The next matchup, we have Inter Miami hosting Toronto FC. Now, for me, it's been hard to pick Toronto FC as they're pretty much a new team after the summer transfer window, after they brought in all their Italian transfers, right? Also, it's hard for me to pick because, our co-host and founder and owner of the channel, Mike, is diehard TFC. If you ever meet him at a game, ask him to see his TFC tattoo, right? So there's a little bit of my heart in this one. But given the fact that Toronto has been scoring a lot of goals, I am going to pick them to win this game. I'm not too confident, again, because of what I just said and because Miami has been finding the back of the net. They have been a pretty good team offensively lately. Win, draw, win. And Toronto's had defensive struggles. But I think Toronto will have more offense. I think they will get the win. Next matchup on BetUS, the Colorado Rapids host the Houston Dynamo. Now, Colorado is getting minus 150 as the home team on this one. Their recent form, draw, win, win, but they do have a game on the 18th, and Houston is coming off of 3 straight losses. That's really what it is for me. Houston has 3 straight losses. Their big signing, Hector Herrera, has not been able to elevate that team. Rather, in my opinion, he's just kind of covering for everyone's mistakes, not really being able, like I said, to elevate them to allow his game to pick theirs up. So I'm going to pick Colorado as the safe bet on this one, but because they're playing at home, I'll take Colorado. However, they're coming off of a short rest. And they're really trying to push and win games. So there could be a bit of an upset here if Houston finds some sort of miracle in their rested legs, but I think the safe money's on Colorado for this one. Now, the next game on BetUS are the San Jose Earthquakes hosting LAFC. For argument's sake, San Jose is loss, draw, loss, and LAFC is coming off of 3 straight wins. Now, they did have a Tuesday night game against DC. I think maybe I said Monday night before. Tuesday night game against DC. Bale and Chiellini were out for load management, but still, they're the best team in the league. They're arguably the best offense in the league, and the only one with a shout towards that is Austin. San Jose, not in good form, still kind of a mess. They also just announced the signing of a new coach, and whose name is escaping me right now, but I tweeted that out, so follow along on Twitter at SOP Soccer. And Luchi Gonzalez, I believe. And I just think LAFC, they're the best team right now. You can't bet against them, even at minus 115. The next game is Real Salt Lake hosting the Vancouver Whitecaps. And I'm actually going to go with RSL on this one. I think lately I've been giving Vancouver a little too much credit, and then especially after that stomping they got at the hands of the Galaxy. Real Salt Lake is at home and making a little bit of a playoff push here, I think. So even though their recent form is win, loss, draw, and Vancouver is loss, win, draw, I'm still going to take RSL at home on this one. Now we're getting into Sunday's games. The Columbus Crew hosting Atlanta United. Now the Crew's form is draw, win, loss, while Atlanta is loss, draw, win. However, the Crew at home with their offense, and Atlanta's last couple of results have come at, last minute phenomenal goals by Andrew Gutman. I don't think he replicates that for a third time. I'm surprised he even did it a second time against FC Cincinnati last week, which killed Mike's 3-game parlay, by the way. Otherwise, that would have been a big win for him. Speaking of 3-game parlays, we actually had someone write us in the comments on our last video saying that's his strategy, right? He puts money down on these 3-game parlays against the best teams or the teams in best form, and then kind of hedges it around over the course of a season, and that's how he ends up coming out ahead. So it's an interesting strategy for sure, but in this game, Columbus over Atlanta. Now, the next match kind of intrigues me, especially as a guy living around Chicago and someone who's followed the Chicago Fire since their inception as a franchise. The Fire are getting plus 150 at home to New York City FC. The Fire are coming off of a loss, win, draw. And NYC, though, is coming off of loss, draw. Now, NYCFC has only had 4 goals in their last 3 games. 8 goals in their last 7. They lost Tati. They lost a lot. They're still a good team. They still have a lot of talent, and I still think they're going to be a top 4 team at the end of the season in the Eastern Conference. But Chicago, as well as they had been playing over the last 6 weeks, they've got a lot of injuries to their back line, and they just lost DP, D-mid Gaston Jimenez as well. He may or may not be in the lineup. I don't know what kind of injury he took in their last game, but he was in a lot of pain. So if you want to bet on this game, make sure you're checking that Chicago injury report as late up to kickoff as you can before you put that money down. But in this one, I don't know what to say. Yes, Chicago's at home and their offense is good, but their back line is struggling. Can a struggling New York offense take advantage? So I'm going to take the draw on this one. Next matchup, we have Charlotte hosting Orlando City. Charlotte win, loss. Orlando win, loss. But I'm going to take Charlotte on this one. Maybe it's a little bit of a revenge game from their 2-1 loss to Orlando earlier in the season. But I think they finally get their mojo back and get their offense back, especially at home. And I've got no faith in Orlando City's offense. I am done waiting for them to come around. Maybe this is the game that does it because I'm picking against them. But that's the risk we take, I suppose. Next matchup, Sporting Kansas City hosting the Portland Timbers. Sporting Kansas City right there, right near the bottom of the league table. They have a loss in their last 3, but they have 4 losses in their last 5. Meanwhile, Portland is coming off loss, draw, and Portland is fighting to get into those playoffs. I think this is a great opportunity for Portland to go and get 3 points despite being the road team, and I think this is a great value for pickers, for bettors and gamblers on this one. I'm going to take Portland on the road at Sporting Kansas City. And the last game of the weekend, we've got Nashville SC hosting FC Dallas. Nashville, not in good form. Loss, draw. Meanwhile, Dallas just comes off a win tonight as well. They're at Philly right now. They were winning a little bit ago, but their recent form was win, draw, loss. Now, prior to the 4-1 victory, San Jose hasn't scored 3 goals. Prior to Dallas's 4-1 victory against San Jose in a recent matchup, they haven't scored 3 goals since May 28. So Dallas's offense is struggling, and I'm actually gonna follow the odds on this one. Nashville's at minus 110. I'm gonna pick Nashville at home. Dallas is coming off of short rest against Philadelphia, playing tonight, Wednesday night, the 17th. So I think that's going to be a huge factor in it. And I think if you savvy gamblers out there, you savvy bettors out there, really follow the league closely as far as the scheduling and the rotating of squads, you can maybe get ahead of these books as I still think they're not totally caught up to everything soccer yet, especially Major League Soccer yet. Now, of course, in the end, the house always wins, right? But maybe you can be one of the few who can take advantage of it if you're savvy enough, if you're knowledgeable enough, and if you get in on the right odds and have a good strategy for it all. So, with that, let me throw up my picks one more time so you can get a summary of everything, and we will let you get back to it. So, I've got LA Galaxy over Seattle, Cincinnati over Red Bull, Philadelphia over DC, Montreal and New England to draw, Miami losing to Toronto, Austin defeating Minnesota, Colorado over Houston, Salt Lake over Vancouver, LAFC to win on the road at San Jose. How much of a road game is that? I don't know. Columbus over Atlanta. New York City comes to Soldier Field in Chicago and walks away with a draw. Charlotte over Orlando. Portland winning on the road in Kansas City, and Nashville at home with a victory over Dallas. So those are my picks. Let me know what you all think in the comment section below or on Twitter at SOP Soccer. You can add us and the DMs are open. You can always email us at sonsofapitchsoccer@gmail.com. And you know what? Leave enough comments, guys. I'm trying to get Mike to come back and do a little preview picks and predictions banter with me next week. Leave your comments, let him know, reach out with the messages, and we can get him back to do some picking and predicting. I mean, he's the one that's got the lucky picks. I'm just trying to wrap my head around some analytics here and find a good metric. Anyway, with that, I want to thank you. Remember to like, subscribe, as well as share the video. Help grow the conversation around the league and the game here in America. If you like what we're doing, if you win a few bucks on our picks, send us a super chat or a super thanks via YouTube, or you can always reach out at SOP Soccer on Twitter or email sonsofapitchsoccer@gmail.com if you'd like to talk about sponsorships or donating or supporting the show in any other way. I'll leave you with my picks one more time, and I want you all to have great luck and enjoy the matches.